Okay, we're going to talk about I'll fly away, I will fly away, I'll fly away. We're going to discuss it from a musical uh, standpoint, a little bit of light theory, because we like to do that every now and then because we know that having a musical understanding and a if you can get a little bit more in depth into the song and not just move fingers, it always makes your playing better. It makes you a more complete musician, and it makes the road going forward a little bit easier to navigate. So we're going to talk about some of those things today, and I hope that you learn them. So what I did is just to save a sheet of paper, on the bottom of Angelina Baker, I just wrote in, you'll see at the very bottom there, it just says F sharp scale, and then it has the word Mixolydian. Okay, what that means, and now it's tabbed out, and we're using the capo in the song, so it's tabbed out from the capo, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4. So what that is that is the F sharp scale. But we're starting here, instead of starting on the F sharp, which is here, we're starting on the C sharp, which is there. The C sharp is the fifth note in the F sharp scale, F, G, A, B, C, or F sharp to C sharp in this case. When you start the scale on a note other than the name of the scale, in this case the F sharp scale, we're starting it on the C sharp scale. That means we are playing a mode of that scale. I know we've talked about these things before, but this is just kind of brief reiteration of the idea, just to help drive it home. And when you start a scale on the fifth note of the scale, that mode has a name, and it is Mixolydian. Pretty fancy name, Mixolydian. So Mixolydian sounds pretty highfalutin, but just remember, it's just the F sharp scale, except it's not started on the F sharp, it's started on the C sharp, the fifth note of the scale. So that's the scale that this song is built around, or the mode, however you want to look at it. Now, what I did is I wrote out the melody and I put the tab underneath. If you look at the music portion, you'll see that there are 7 sharps in the key signature. That's because in the key of F sharp, no, I'm sorry, 6 sharps. There are 6 sharps in the key signature. That's because in the key of F sharp there are 6 sharps. There's only one key that has more. The key of C sharp has 7 sharps. We're almost there, but not quite. We've gone to the brink with 6 sharps. We're using the F sharp chord by employing the capo rather than playing the F sharp bar chord. We're letting the capo act as our first finger, and we're playing the E form, which gives us, in fact, an F sharp chord because of the capo. Now I have the melody tabbed out, but I want you to try to focus primarily in on the musical portion. You can use the tab to whatever degree you need to. So I would suggest by warming up using that Mixolydian mode. Just to warm up to get ready to play the song. What I've written out is just the basic melody of the song. Now in playing this, the way we're going to do this is we're going to kind of go through it and discuss it briefly. But then I'm going to play the chords to the song so that you can play the melody. I'm going to give you a rhythm track basically. And then we're going to switch. And I'm going to play the melody, and you're going to go to the chords, and then we're going to switch back for the final time. I'll play the chords, and you'll play the melody. So you'll be playing the melody twice, at the beginning and at the end, and no, Yeah, at the beginning and at the end, and I'll be playing it in the middle at the second time. Hope that was clear. So let's look at the melody. So we're here, and what we want to do is kind of analyze what we have on the sheet. So we look at the sheet, we know we're in 4/4 time, so we see we have 4 quarter notes, so the timing there is very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. We look at the next measure, we see we have eighth notes, and then 2 quarter notes. So we have 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So from the beginning we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. We get to the last measure in the first line. We have a dotted half note, which gets 3 beats, because a dot gives a note half again of what it originally had. A half note gets 2 beats, so now this will get 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. So from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Something that I would recommend you doing, I don't know if you just look at these on your phone or if you actually print these out. If you do print them out, then go ahead and write the timing in above, just as sort of an exercise, just to kind of drive home your understanding of the timing. Or if your understanding is such that it's really just something that you just so thoroughly and clearly understand, then don't bother. But if you're still at the point where you kind of have to think about how the timing works, actually write it above the notes as we talk about it. We get to line 2, and we have the C sharp note. It's a whole note, so it's going to get all 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get to the next measure, quarter notes again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to keep going now. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you can see, like I said, that was all played right here in this single position, just in the single octave of that Mixolydian mode, which is the 5th mode of the F sharp scale. So what I'm going to do now, just for a simple play along, is I'm going to just play through the melody. I'm going to use a metronome today because I want to get some precision. We can also work on maintaining a steady tempo. I don't know how well this is going to come through the recording, but hopefully it'll be enough. So I'm just going to play through the melody once using the metronome, and you can play along. I'm at 90. I'm going to slow it down a little bit. I'll slow it down to 85. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, so I'm assuming that, what the heck am I doing? Okay, there we go. So obviously, you know, using the metronome, you can set it at whatever tempo you want. As I said, I had that on 85 because it is a fairly simple tune. Just to back up a little bit, so after you're done doing the play-alongs that we are doing, I would like you to play this melody along with the Alan Jackson YouTube, which would be quite a bit quicker, but work your way up to that. So you can actually play right along. You can play through this song as we have it written. You can play along 3 times. I believe Alan Jackson does it 3 times through. And you can just play this melody 3 times through along with him. When he sings it, when they go to the guitar and the piano solo, just play this melody again. And then they'll get back to Alan Jackson singing the 3rd verse. Just play this melody again. It's just for the practice, along with playing the chords along with Alan Jackson's version. So, when I play the chords for you, I am going to always go to the C sharp minor. You don't have to when you go to the chords for me. You can go there sometimes if you're not quite up to it, but if you're not there yet to get to that C sharp minor in time, then just stay on the E chord. Okay, so I'm going to start the metronome at 85. I'm going to play, and this is going to be non-stop 3 times through. I'm going to play the chords. I'm going to go right into the melody, at which point you pick up the chords, and then I'm going to switch back to the chords, and you play the melody. This is really good real-world practice. This is the kind of thing that might happen at a jam session, where you're playing with a group of people, and so you're playing the chords while somebody's playing the lead on a violin or another guitar or whatever, and then your turn comes to play the melody. And so you've got to be right there. They're not going to say, okay, let's stop and wait for you to get ready. You have to be ready to play the melody when your turn comes around in the stream of time, and then get back to the chords. So that's the kind of thing that we're practicing. Okay? I hope this kind of works with the metronome and everything. So the other thing to keep in mind is always set the volume of the accompaniment that you're playing along with. You want that to be at least as loud as you, because you want to be part of what's there. You want to be listening. When you're playing the melody, you want to be able to effectively divide your attention between what you're hearing me play and what you're playing. You want to become a part of the group. Same thing when you're playing along with the Alan Jackson version on YouTube. You want to set the volume there so that you're just in the mix and you're not too out front and you're not too buried, and that you just simply do obviously with your volume control. So here we go. 3 times through at 85. I'll let this metronome go a couple of times. I'll count it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. goes 3 times through. So important to use the metronome every now and then. I don't know how often you use it, but I notice even when I was playing along, the tendency to rush is very real. And you stop and think about it, if there's a tendency for people to rush as they're playing music, which is almost always the case, if you listen to some especially older recordings of old rock and roll songs and whatnot, if you count the tempo at the beginning of the song, sometimes by the time they get to the end of the song, it is significantly faster than the tempo that they started at. So, and if you think about it from the standpoint of playing a song, it only is going to make the song more difficult to play if you're trying to play it faster. If it happens to be a song that's a little bit challenging, having the song speed up is not going to make it any easier to play. So there you go with that. I just wanted to, dig into that a little bit deeper and give you, something to play along with that'll give you a little bit of more real-world experience with the song. So this is just continuing on with our way of doing things. Explore the song in its fullest, and then the next thing that we'll be getting into is actually playing a more solo arrangement of the song, which is always best used, or it's best to get to that point when the song is extremely familiar and basically second nature. And we're getting there with that song, I'm sure. So I hope that was helpful and enjoyable, and we will talk to you soon.